Big tech is making record profits, so why are software engineers still getting laid off? Everyone is talking about the AI apocalypse, like the end of software engineers is coming. But is that really true? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this disruption is temporary and how you can turn it into the biggest opportunity of your career. To start, let me show you why you will become irrelevant if your only skill is Next.js. Right now, software engineers everywhere are panicking, and there is a good reason for it. AI tools like Cursor AI can already create entire Next.js applications faster than you can brew your morning coffee. Suddenly, tech jobs that used to guarantee comfortable life are being replaced by machines. But this isn't a threat, it's a sign. Think back when Henry Ford introduced cars to the world. People panicked, saying this automobile will ruin the entire horse industry. Thousands will lose their jobs. And yes, if your only skills were grooming horses and fixing saddles, you were in trouble. But look what actually happened. The rise of car didn't just replace all jobs, it created millions of new ones. Mechanics, road builders, and many others, a new ecosystem of careers were born, far bigger than anyone could imagine. And AI is doing exactly the same thing to software engineering right now. And that's right. The bar for entry-level software engineering jobs is getting higher and higher because AI is taking over all brainless tasks. AI frees you from repetitive coding tasks, allowing you to do more interesting things. You are no longer someone who just writes code, but you are someone who creates value through innovation and creativity. So how do you adapt to this new reality? First, stop seeing yourself as somebody who just writes code. Instead, position yourself as someone who can solve meaningful problems. You can invest in skills that AI can't replicate, like strategic thinking, problem solving, creativity, and innovation. This shift isn't optional, it's essential to thrive in this reality. The key to make yourself irreplaceable in this reality isn't about doing harder and more tasks, it's about combining harder tasks with deep domain expertise. Here is the truth. Most software engineers spend their entire careers chasing the latest frameworks and tools, but frameworks come and go. If your value depends entirely on knowing Next.js or React or whatever is trending this year, you are in big trouble. Companies don't pay top dollar for developers who start a new project every single year. They pay for software that will become their backbone and will be developed over decades. Imagine two developers. Developer A spends entire day mastering latest features of Next.js. And developer B doesn't just write code, they understand finance. They know how money moves, how fraud works, and maybe even some legal caveats of finance industry. That's what we call leverage. When a fintech company needs someone to build their next-gen platform, how do you think? Who will they choose? Developer B every single time, even if they have no contribution on GitHub. Why? Because developer B isn't just fluent in code, they are fluent in business problems. They can translate complex real-world challenges into working software. Engineers who will thrive in the AI-driven future won't just master frameworks, they will master entire boring business domains like finance, healthcare, cybersecurity, and maybe even geology. Look what businesses are essential and underserved. That's where your leverage is hidden. When you combine your coding skills with genuine domain expertise, you become the developer companies can't live without. So how you can even do this? First, start by choosing a domain that isn't that sexy. I made my first big money working in the oil and gas field. I was hired as an employee number 6, an AI startup owned by one of the largest oil companies in the Middle East called ADNOC. My salary was high because no engineer wants to work for that boring company. Everybody is chasing those impossible to get jobs at Google because they think it is the only way to make a good living. But they are wrong. The best money is always in boring jobs because there is no competition. That's why you should try to get into Salesforce, finance, healthcare, or mining. Learn the language, understand unique challenges, and build your expertise around solving specific business problems. When you combine your tech skills with deep domain knowledge, you will no longer need to compete on geography or traditional metrics with others. I make more than 95% of Silicon Valley developers, and I don't even live in the United States. So let me show you how I did it. How to make more money than 95% of Silicon Valley developers even if you don't live in the United States. Most developers think the only way to earn top money is by landing a job at a big tech company from Silicon Valley or doing indie hacking. It is just wrong. According to payroll platform called Gusto, 90% of software engineers in San Francisco make under $210,000 per year. After California taxes, that's roughly $145K take-home pay. Not bad, but definitely not the goldmine people imagine. Meanwhile, I make more than that and I don't even live in the United States. How? Because years ago, I stopped playing the tech hype game. Instead of chasing fancy frameworks, fancy job titles, or office perks, I started solving valuable problems that nobody else wanted to solve. I didn't chase shiny tools. I was taking strategic position, and that's how I built my leverage. I think it was president of Oracle or IBM who said that tech industry is more driven by fashion than the fashion industry itself. And that's why tech stack games never work. They will hurt you in the long run. But if you design your career in the right way, your location will not longer define your earning potential, but your expertise will. Being remote isn't a disadvantage anymore, but being generic is. This opportunity still exists, but you need to take action. You don't need Silicon Valley, fancy offices, latest frameworks. You just need to become exceptional at solving valuable problems. So how you can win? How to win? Get uncomfortable, go deep, and make AI work for you. Right now, many software engineers are stuck in the fear mode, worrying that AI will replace them and take their jobs or even leave them obsolete. But the fear is the wrong reaction. AI isn't here to take your job. It's here to free you from boring and repetitive tasks. The real question is how you will use this freedom. Think about washing dishes by hand. Sure, you can do it, but it takes time. When the dishwasher was invented, people didn't panic about losing the skill of scrubbing plates, right? Instead of that, they were happy that they have a few extra hours every week for their hobbies, family, and maybe starting their own business. Think about AI as your dishwasher. Let it handle the repetitive, boilerplate coding tasks, the dirty dishes of software engineering. Use that newfound freedom to tackle tougher problems, learn niche domains, and build products that disrupt the boring industries. Software engineers who will thrive in this new era aren't the ones obsessing about perfect and elegant code. They are the ones brave enough to do jobs nobody else wants to do. The old path of grinding lead code, job hopping every year, chasing tech giants is breaking down. The new path is wide open, full of opportunities and leverage, but you need to be brave enough to stake into this. So, are you ready to embrace the discomfort and get into boring industry? If not, maybe you thought about doing some indie hacking, like launching your own product or maybe doing an agency. But before you jump in, I strongly recommend you to watch this video of mine where I show you why indie hacking wrecks software engineers. Trust me, it will spare you costly mistakes and reshape your perspective on indie hacking. I will see you there.